Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech Tuesday. My name is Sarah Roche. I'm a technology coach up in program. Today, we are going to be focusing on how to enhance our assessment practices with a few tools within Office 365. I'm going to give you a chance to settle in and make sure that you have one tab open in order to watch us on the YouTube link and another tab open in order to collaborate in some way with us. I'm going to flip screens and start the presentation and get started. So as mentioned, today we are going to be focusing on features within Office 365. And if you wish to talk with us during this time and collaborate and ask questions, please do so on Twitter or Yammer using the hashtag DPChat so we can find your questions and answer you back. As well, on the document link that's provided to you by your principal, you can come in there and you can ask us questions. Just make sure to write your name so we know who we're speaking to, and we're definitely there to help before and after sessions throughout the day. Don't worry about taking notes. All of our sessions are stored within our YouTube channel, which is DPCDSP Chats. So today we are going to be looking at how we can use assessment strategies and how we can enhance the way that we assess using digital tools. It's important at this point that we start to understand how we can help students focus on higher order thinking skills such as evaluating and creating, and how we can use our technology in order to leverage this and to help enhance their idea of what they're doing and in order to help our students reach their full potential. When developing our assessments, it's important that students and teachers create learning criteria that will reflect and include our Ontario Catholic graduate expectations. It is so much a part of their learning and their final idea of how they're reaching their potential and their goal. When creating assessments, we're taking a look at these three aspects, although all of the OCGs can really be placed within any assessment that we do. But three that really stood out to me today when looking at Office 365 is a self-directed responsible lifelong learner. So we're helping our students understand the purpose of the assessment as part of their learning, and we really want them to be actively engaged in the assessment process. We really want to make sure that they are effective communicators. We want them to not only be able to communicate what they're doing and how to effectively achieve their goals, but also help their peers effectively reach their potential and succeed. So we want them to be able to not only self-assess what they're doing, but to peer assess and help the other students along in the class. This comes to the idea of also having a reflective, creative, and holistic thinker. We really want them to effectively analyze and evaluate the evidence, arguments, claims, and beliefs. They're able to solve their own problems and make responsible decisions based on the feedback that's given, and also just kind of analyzing their own work and seeing how they can improve in some way or another. One way in Office 365 that we can start doing this is within OneDrive. Within OneDrive, we can save and have shared folders. So within the shared folders, students can drop their Word documents, Excel, most likely we're going to look at the surveys today, their PowerPoints, their OneNotes, and they can all do this within one folder, or multiple folders can be created for the students to drop their assignments in, depending on what it's used for. Students within their own OneDrive can upload existing files or create new ones. And teachers or peers can go and view and comment on the file if it's shared with them. So if we take a look, I'm just going to come out of here. I'm going to quickly show you what that looks like. So if you go into OneDrive and we pop into here, we can see that I have files that are shared. So I have this shared with a group currently. You could also, when you open it up, share this with the different courses that you have, so that you can have students placed in a group and you just share with that course. And anything that you share with that one group of people, this will then they will be able to see all of these files within it. So you could have files for the students or files for the classes that you do. It all depends. But they can go in, they can open up any document that's in the file and be able to give the feedback, the peer review, or be able to work on a document or PDF or just a reading. So it depends on what you're doing. But for assessment purposes, we're looking at the peer review or the teacher feedback within these files. I'm going to show you a direct example of what that may look like in an English class. So we know within our English classes that students are developing and organizing content, most likely based on something that they're reading. So they're going to develop an essay to demonstrate their understanding of the information or the graphic text or even just the fictional text that they're reading. One way that English teachers are able to help provide feedback is with simple sentence edits or paragraph comments or global comments, meaning about how they do overall. We want to understand that sometimes it's not just the teacher that's giving the feedback, especially within English. It's very imperative that the peers themselves come in and share their documents and help provide the feedback to one another. One way we can do this is within Word, and they're able to use the review tools to track changes and make comments. I'm going to show you what that looks like. There we go. So this here is an example of a student handing an English lit review in which they're talking about To Kill a Mockingbird. You can see within here that I've made some changes. You can see comments along the side. There are things highlighted. I'm going to show you how that's possible and what you're using in order to do that. Up at the top, you see this Review tab. This Review tab allows us to turn on Track Changes. This enables us to see and what's happening along here. So you can see that things are underlined. You can see that some words are crossed out. Within here, you see that this is marking up my page. This is often done whether or not you are online. This is really generally what English papers look like. To some extent, when the students are writing it, we're not only looking just for the overall content, but also the idea of their grammar and conventions is very important. So marking it up and helping them see where they may need to make some changes is imperative for the English language learner. Here you can see you can choose what kind of markups you want. If you do just want comments, that is possible. However, if you want to make sure that insertions and deletions, formatting, and you want to track moves from and to, if you're moving things around, then this would be important that you have all these on. So it all depends on the point at which you want to edit and what that may look like. I'm just giving you an idea of all of them. Here you can see on the side that I've highlighted the title and I've chosen to do a new comment. In here, I've just wrote some global overall comments, what I think about their introduction, maybe something that they need to improve. So I've put that up at the top here with my title. Along it, you can also see that I've highlighted some ideas of maybe some grammar or convention ideas, and then maybe a comment as to an argument they're making and whether or not I agree or think they're doing a good job. So this is very simple, that idea, and the students can choose to accept it, to reject it, and then they can choose then to bring it all together and compare them. So they can compare documents and then combine them together and make those changes if they wish. So there's a lot of different things to do within here, but this review function is a really great place to start when just beginning to provide feedback to students within Office 365. Another one is OneNote. Student notebooks are maintained and used as an ongoing measure of student progress and may include student notes, reports, reflections, self-assessments, and even peer-to-teacher assessments. In here, we can see that there is a content library, a collaboration space, and the student notebooks. Today, we're going to specifically look at the personal student notebooks. One way that we're going to look at it is through the idea of math. One teacher was working on his unit for analytic geometry. In here, he was assessing the tasks that students were doing. So he wanted to quickly assess a simple question. It's like an exit ticket from class and see if they really understand what was happening.
Just a brief introduction to how we use the OneNote binder to aid in formative assessment and differentiation. So I'm going to go into my teacher section group here. And so this was the question that I wanted to look at with the students. And it starts off with a line segment with one end at C. So I'm actually going to just search in the notebook for that phrase. And it's a pretty unique phrase. And the nice thing about OneNote is it takes an image, and if it sees text in it, it indexes that text. So it's found all of my students' page with that text in it. And it's a pretty unique statement, and so it's usually easy to find. So if I click on that, I'll get the one student's work. I can look at it, see what they've done, go to another student, look at it, see what they've done, another student, see what they've done, and so on. It gives me a chance to look at what each student, in this case, hasn't done anything, what each student has done, and then plan forward from that. So it's a really quick way of looking at an individual question that's hidden somewhere in the notebook, but because in OneNote indexes images, you can quickly find student work with relative ease. And from there, I can sort of develop and plan forward. And I can also comment on the student's note directly whether or not I've agreed with what they have done. So using search and the fact that it indexes has really made life a lot easier to find how students have done on individual questions. Thanks a lot.
So then there's that simple idea, and I think you can see that you're able to find the task that you're looking for based on a title, and that you're able to go on and make a quick comment and make a quick assessment as to whether the students are understanding the task. And this can lead your instruction, so lead to where you may go in the next lesson, or understand that you may need to conference with a couple of students. However, another idea is that idea of assessing and documenting the student tasks right within their notebooks. So one thing, and I want to show you, it's the same guy. He comes in and he talks about being able to make a section blocked from the student view for the marking, and being able to copy sections into notebooks so that they can actually see, be able to see the feedback afterwards. I'm going to pop out and just show you that where it might be a little bit more clear. The video within here is a little bit hazy, so I'm just going to open it up over here so you can see it.
Okay, I'm just going to run over how we do assessment here at Appleby College within the OneNote structure. So you can see I've got my teacher section group and then a section group for every one of my students, and they go on for the entire class. So I'm going to go into one of my students' notes, and you'll see that she's got a variety of sections across the top relating to our units. And then there are three sections that are...
Pause here for a moment because I see that it's not moving along for you. So let me see if it moves in for you. There we go. Whoops. Come back out. So what I want you to take notice of is that he's showing you that he is using the drawing feature at this point in order to use a stylus to make the corrections. He's highlighting where they've gone wrong. He's made a few comments along the side. What he's trying to show you up here is that the A is where the student hands in their assignment. The M is where the teacher marks it, and this could be password protected in here so that at this point, the teacher can go in, mark, copy whatever they've done, and put it into the review section. In this R section, the teacher for this notebook has specifically made it so that it's view only. So students can't mess around with the feedback or change what they have, but they store their assessments along the way. So there's some great ways, and I know that a lot of secondary teachers want to have the capability of being able to assess online, but really don't want the students to change the feedback and what they've done. So I'm just going to move this forward a little bit for you.
you can go back, and if you're not sure how to create the class notebooks, there's a lot of things in videos under Office 365 that you can go back and review how to create a class notebook, how to create a shared file. All that stuff's there for you. So today we're just focusing on the idea of assessment, and I want to give you some ideas that come with that.
Okay, I'm just going to run over how.
You don't want him? Okay, the next one and final one is going to be Excel survey. And I want you to think of the idea of the arts in this essence. And although self-assessment is imperative for all courses, within the arts, there is a big responsibility for the students to be able to reflect, respond, and analyze in what they're doing. So they have to think critically about the process and then really understand and make connections to what they're doing, whether it be their drama, their music, or their art, whatever it is that they're going to be focusing and evaluating. They need to be able to self-reflect. One way, and I'm going to pull out of here again, and I am going to show you a survey here. So this is one that I just put together quickly, and it's that idea where the students are just putting in, say, my performance was about, they have their name, their date. If I click on this, you can see that it's very simple. Right now I have that simple idea of a text. If I choose to, I can create a paragraph text. I can create a yes or no answer, or even a choice, a multiple choice. So at this point, it all depends on your design. Right now, I've left it really open to what the students are doing. And all you do each time is just add a new question. So every time you want another one, we just add, and from there, we're going to choose. And again, there are tutorials on this, so don't worry too much about what that looks like. There's a lot in Office 365 already there for you. But I've asked my performance was about, the best moment or best thing about my performance, the part of my performance I would change, and I want them to explain why along the way. And to improve my performance, I would explain why. So even I think it could be, for many essence, maybe even the idea of music, you could do this and apply it to as well, and drama. So when they are performing or presenting, or they've created something in one way or another, they can really sit back and analyze. What did they do well? What do they need to improve? How can they change it? And what do they see that they can move around if they were to do it again? If the students were to see it, when we save and view it down here, you're going to see this idea where this is what the students see. So when they come in and you give them the URL, they're going to come in here, and when they're done, they're going to submit it to you. And obviously, all of these are required, which I've chosen that. So then they'd have to make sure to fill in everything. It wouldn't let them submit it until that happens. So it just gives you a little idea of what that may look like. I'm going to come back to Office 365. And I'm just quickly going to show you where to go for the videos. So here, I've logged on again to Office 365. We've talked about OneDrive. We've talked about the use of Word Online, Excel Online for surveys, Word Online for feedback, connected with that idea of OneDrive, and then OneNote, Class OneNote, in order to have personal notebooks where you go in, mark up, and assess the student work with the draw tool itself. If you wish, in the videos part, in here, you can go in and look for certain things. And already I see Office 365, creating a class, creating class notebook, logging in, changing class. So you see a bunch of different things are already put in there. You can go and see all videos. You can search for exactly what you're looking for. But there's a lot already completed by our teachers and by our ICT department that will really help you along the way. So if you just need those extra little steps of how-tos, please come to the videos within Office 365 and follow along. They're very informative. I am going to come back out and rejoin you now.
Okay. So hopefully along the way, just trying to find you here. There we go. You were able to pick up on a few assessments that could be possibly helpful for you. Remember just to start small and attempt to transfer your assessments into one digital format and see how that works out for you. Remember that every Tuesday we're here, so if you don't have the questions right now, that's okay. Go and test it out. come on back and you can ask us questions whenever you please during and throughout the day on Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your day.